Tonight on the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror, Sylvia has it all. The perfect apartment, the perfect job, the perfect boyfriend, and also a dark black past that she cannot escape. Tonight's movie, The Perfume of the Lady in Black.
Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror! Yes! All hope is lost. Unless your hope is for unique and weird and bloody and gory and nasty cinema from around the world, well then in that case, you have all the hope in the world because that's what I'm going to be giving you. And have been giving you, and will continue to give you, as long as that I draw breath. Or maybe, something else happens, like, I don't know, make $1 billion and go fly off into the sunset with a bunch of whores. Nah, probably not. Anyways, tonight, we are going back to one of my favorite subgenres, the Italiano giallo. No, not to be confused with jello, but no, giallo, not jello, giallo. Interesting. Giallo shots. Now that might be a really cool thing for a Halloween party. I came up with it. It was me. No matter what anyone says, I came up with giallo shots. Okay, anyways. Probably not. I haven't heard of them until now, so when it came into my mind, naturally. Anyways, so tonight, we are reviewing a film, a giallo, called The Perfume of the Lady in Black. And so what is this movie about? Well, it is about a woman named Sylvia, who is a professional. She is in charge of this, I believe, perfume factory, perfume laboratory, whatever, anyways. And she is a bustling professional woman with a boyfriend, and she not moonlights, that's a different thing. She friends with intellectuals and all this and all that. However, she seemingly begins to be haunted by visions of her past, visions of her deceased mother, visions of herself as a child, of her mother in the arms of another man that's not her father, a man who is sinister, maybe even abusive. Anyways, as she is constantly haunted by these visions, the reality of her situation starts to crumble, and she starts to wonder what is real and what is not real, and can she trust anyone, the people who live in her apartment, her boyfriend, her circle of friends. They all seem to be crumbling and staring and acting strangely. And is she just having a breakdown, and is it all in her mind, or is something more sinister happening in the shadows, forcing her to face the demons of her past as well as the demons of her mind? Will she be able to overcome, or will she too become a tragedy, much like her mother? Well, you'll have to watch the film. So let's get to the score, shall we? Violence and gore. I'm going to give this a 1.5 out of 5. It's not really violent. There is some blood. There is a nice little hack on the head scene. But overall, not really much there, blood and gore-wise. But that's not what this movie is about. So we'll just move on. 1.5 out of 5. Shock value, I am going to give this a 3 out of 5. Not so much in the jump scares, but the shocks of the twists and turns within this movie and some of the things that happen. Maybe a little rapey too, but anyways, this is where the movie hits it, especially the ending. And honestly, it feels like it was the inspiration for a few movies that have come out in the last 20 years. Very similar type of themes. And I just can't imagine that them not being somehow inspired by this film. So 3 out of 5, very solid. Plot is a 4 out of 5. Yes, it is a slow burn of a movie, and there are little inconsistencies here, but what is going on in this movie and how it gets revealed by the end. And yes, I think I have a little bit of a problem with something that kind of happens about halfway or a little longer that sort of kind of gives away a little bit of what's going on, but it still is rather remarkable story. And it's an oddity. It's weird. It's strange, but is also, chilling. And like I said, it reminds me of some other films that came out many, many years after this. And I can only think that this has to have been the inspiration for some of those films. I'd tell you what those films are, but that would kind of give away what's going on in this film, and I don't want to do that. So, but if you've seen those films and you see this film, you'll understand immediately what I'm talking about. But I think it does its job, giving you little pieces and glimpses and making you question whether or not what's going on is real in her mind, whether or not she's being manipulated, and you get a big question like, who can you trust? Can you trust her? Can you trust her perspective? Can you trust her neighbors, her friends, her boyfriend, things like that? And by the end, you're like, whoa, okay, wow. This is very different and weird, but in a good way. So 4 out of 5 for plot. Moving on to acting, I'll also give this a 4 out of 5. Now this is an Italian movie, and the version I have is in Italian, even though there is like a little English in there, which is really odd because it comes from a woman who I think she's the wife or at least friend of this African guy, and she speaks English to presumably her son, and it's like, but we're in Italy. They're speaking Italian. They're from Africa. You would not think English, but all of a sudden it just shows up random. Anyways, but regardless of what's going on there, the acting is really great in this. Mimsy Farmer, who plays Sylvia, does an excellent job. And honestly, she has to do a great job because she is the center of this movie, and it was going to be make or break. And yeah, I think sometimes maybe you go, well, she's a little bit overboard, but I think, you kind of have to have that because it's, once again, it's sort of part and parcel for the genre and the time, but also it does give that sort of frantic, confused, scared, what's going on type of feeling that this movie needs to keep its momentum. And so I think a strong performance by everyone to keep you on the edge of whether they're sinister or friendly, where you don't even know, everyone's layered, and I think the performances are layered, and that has to happen because you have to keep questioning what's going on, and you have to keep questioning everything and everyone in this film. And so if you don't do a real good job, it can fall apart really easy. So kudos, 4 out of 5 for acting. Moving on to Nudity, I'm giving it a 1.5 out of 5. There are a few scenes, however, they are pretty brief, and I guess someone might say, well, there's like full frontal. Yeah, it's full frontal dead. Not as good. And I've said it before. Live nude girls always superior to dead nude girls. I'm just saying, that's the truth. Live better than dead. Okay. Anyways, but 1.5 out of 5. Moving on to enjoyment factor, I'm giving this a 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed this movie. I do like slow burns that keep you engaged, because there can be slow burns where there are no payoffs, or it just takes freaking forever for anything that happens. But there's enough that's happening in this movie to keep you intrigued, and the way it plays out keeps you questioning what the hell is going on, what's going to happen next, how are we getting through this situation. And the ending is a surprise and fits well. I mean, I might not be a complete fan of the ending, but that's sort of a personal thing for me. But I think overall, this is a pretty great giallo, and one that I will watch again and recommend to other people. So, 4 out of 5. My overall impression, though, is a 3.5 out of 5. It is slow. And for some fans of the genre, they might want a lot more blood and violence, and they maybe want more of a slasher vibe in their giallo, so I can understand that. It definitely is more psychological horror, and so, yeah, it's not going to tickle everyone's bone, and yeah, it doesn't have all the salaciousness of some genre films, too, so, yeah. 3.5 out of 5, though, is still very, very good. Great film. So there you have it, and that averages out to a 3.1 out of 5, which is very, very good. So there it is. The Perfume of the Lady in Black. Yes, The Perfume of the Lady in Black. Tell me what you think in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you blah, 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 whatever. I don't know. Anyways, and thank you again for watching another episode of the 31 Nights of Halloween Horror. And don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. And, it is kind of nice to not have, once in a while have to talk about very, very graphically things that I've had to talk about in a few of the last few reviews, and so it's sort of like sometimes you need that palate cleanser. You can't always have the blood orgies and the hands coming out of body parts and the incestuous hell relationships and other things. Yeah, sometimes you just need a good psychological horror that I guess ends with, oh no, that's right, this movie does turn into oh dang, never mind about that. Shit. You just watch the first 90% of the movie and then forget the ending, and everything's normal and sunshine, roses, and lollipops. Definitely nothing. I've seen some shit, man. I've seen some shit. Oh boy. Yeah. Also, for you professional people out there, and if you have some sort of housekeeper or whatever, if you've got some sort of thing and you've been out late, but you really have an important meeting or whatever to go to, just get that housekeeper to wake your ass up, not at 3:15 in the afternoon, but in the morning. It's oh, you're sleeping. I am never that asleep. I've got shit to do, people. Seriously, wake my ass up. But then again, she might have been in on things. Well, I don't. That's all speculation. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna end it now. So, yeah. Thanks.